can this mother do? What would you do if you were in her place?
treeless, wind-swept continent of grass, stretching from the broad Texas panhandle up through the mountain reaches of Montana to the Canadian border. A country of high winds and sun. High winds and sun. Without rivers, without streams, with little rain. Way for the plowman. First fence. Progress came to the plain. High winds and sun. High winds and sun. A country without rivers and with little rain.
Jobs for the electrician in the maintenance of equipment. These cars operate on the same principle as do the streetcars, having powerful motors mounted on the wheel trucks. Electric current is brought to the motor through contact with a third rail or an overhead trolley line, either of which is connected to the power station at some distant location. In some parts of the country, entire trains are pulled by large electric motors instead of steam. Many railroads have put into operation trains which are electrically driven by diesel units installed in the power cars at the front of the trains. The diesel units burn fuel oil to provide power to turn the generators. The generators, in turn, are connected to the motors on the driving trucks. Such trains are entirely self-contained, requiring neither trolley nor third rail. Similar to these trains in their principle of operation are diesel-electric buses, which are becoming increasingly numerous in different parts of the country. And there also are diesel-electric freight trains. All of these developments in electrical transportation require mechanics and electricians to service and maintain them. Another job in electrical work which is very interesting is that of the troubleshooter, who uses modern scientific instruments in checking electrical equipment. He makes minor repairs himself and offers recommendations for more extensive repairs that will be made by other electricians. Many mechanics with experience in electrical work find jobs in aircraft and automobile ignition service. Electrical engineers continually are working out new uses for the photocell or electric eye, such as devices which open doors, and those which count pedestrians and vehicles in traffic, and others which count assembly line products and reject imperfect ones. These electronic control systems are installed and kept in working order by electrical technicians. Associated with the electrical field are air conditioning and refrigeration, which have increased in importance during recent years, especially in the growth of air conditioning in industrial plants as well as in homes and offices. The top job in the electrical field is that of the electrical engineer, whose responsibility it is to design and direct the installation of electrical devices. Like any engineering work, this requires a great amount of ability and training in mathematics, and you should have some courses in a recognized engineering school to qualify as an electrical engineer. All types of electrical work require a thorough knowledge of the principles of electricity. This foundation can be laid in a study of physics and in special electrical courses which many schools offer. Manual skill is also needed in the handling of tools which the electrician uses. Some companies in the electrical field will train people for specific jobs if they show ability. Correspondence schools offer theoretical work in the various electrical fields, and there are many reputable vocational and trade schools with good equipment in which a young man who is mechanically inclined can get both theory and practical training. Such schools should be investigated thoroughly, however, for there are some which are not first-class institutions. The electrician must have the courage and tenacity to stay with the problem until it is solved correctly, as halfway measures cannot be tolerated in the electrical field. And he must be accurate, and careless electrician may make installations and repairs which could result in damage to property and possibly in injury to people. Most of the work in the electrical field is interesting. It will pay you to investigate it for yourself. Because of the increase in the uses of electricity and the growth of electrical industries, there is a steady demand for trained and skilled electrical workers, and this demand promises to continue.
George McNulty, machinist.
A country without rivers, without streams, with little rain. Once again, the rains held off and the sun baked the earth. This time, no grass held moisture against the winds and the sun. This time, millions of acres of plowed land lay open to the sun. Ached out, blown out, and broke. Year in, year out, uncomplaining, they fought the worst drought in history. Their stock choked to death on the barren land. Their homes were nightmares of swirling dust, night and day. Many went ahead of them, but many stayed, until stock, machinery, homes, credit, food, and even hope were gone. On to the west. Once again, they headed for the setting sun.
People are asking how the Millers manage to have so much fun as a family.
What's the answer? Is it money?
Or is it magic?
Neither. It's something they worked out together when they woke up to the fact that they wanted their family life to be fun.
Who doesn't?
But how did they work it out?
To understand, let's go back several months. Eavesdrop on the Millers one Friday evening before they got wise to themselves.
o'clock.
I'm sorry, Catherine. I just didn't finish my other work in time.
Oh, well. Dad's not home yet anyway. Nobody seems to care that I have a date at 7 o'clock.
You can still make it, dear. I'll do the dishes alone.
But you and Dad are going to the movies.
I'm too tired. I did all the washing today, and I cleaned your room, too. It really needs...
I meant to come home and clean it, Mother. But after school there was a meeting...
Mother! I can't wear these slacks tonight. You said you'd press them.
I know, Harold, but I just didn't...
Why don't you press them yourself?
Say, where's my racket?
In my closet. I broke it. I meant to tell you.
You broke it? And me with an important match tomorrow. Why didn't you get it fixed?
Where would I get the money?
Money? Mother, I need a couple of dollars to take Mary out tonight.
I haven't any money, Harold. But you might have when he comes home.
Fine thing. Dinner late, tennis racket broken, no money for date, and no pants to wear. If this only were a business, we'd go bankrupt, but fast.
That night, Mrs. Miller was thinking about what Harold said.
If this family were a business, in a way, we are a business. We have money to handle, just as a business has. Yet we never make it last from one payday to the next. But that's not all we can't seem to manage. Isn't there a better way to manage ourselves? Wouldn't we all be happier if we worked out a little system for living together in harmony? It's worth a try. I've called this first meeting of the Miller family to propose that we try to establish a definite program for managing our home so that we'll all get more out of it. More fun, more leisure, and more harmony.
I'm certainly in favor of those things. Harmony, leisure, fun.
Who isn't?
But how can we manage them?
We'll have to work out the full answer together. But for a start, I've made a list of points that will guide us. 1, schedule. 2, responsibilities. 3, privileges. And 4, finances.
Sounds impressive.
What do they mean?
How do they work?
Well, remember last Friday evening? It was nothing special. We've had plenty of differences just like it. I caused a good part of the trouble by not having dinner on time. We need to make a definite schedule and stick to it so we can all make plans accordingly.
I can be more careful about coming home in time for dinner or phoning when I'm going to be late.
Yes, but then I didn't have dinner ready, so
Because you took time to clean my room. That's something I should have done.
Well, that's my
Point, privileges.
Well, responsibilities and privileges always go together. If we accept responsibilities, then we acquire certain privileges.
Such as?
Well, such as... I can think of one. Privilege of having your private rights respected. Such as having someone ask your permission when she wants to borrow your tennis racket.
That's a general idea. Now, my 4th point is finances.
Yes, where are we going to get more money?
We don't.
You mean a budget?
Well, if we were a business, wouldn't we have a plan for spending our money?
That does it.
Well, I'd like to suggest that we adjourn for now and all give this...
Senor Gallardo there never had a doctor before. At least not one who knew his name and his medical history.
Have you had much swelling in your legs?
Yeah, it's just swell up your legs.
On anyway to church. Before I got to church, I was hurting so bad I turned around and come back 2-3 times.
Mrs. Skinner's getting on in years, and it never entered her mind that she'd be getting so much interested attention in a place devoted to medical care.
So saying don't kill me, I don't cry.
Have something to do with your heart.
Mrs. Hitchcock complains about a lot of things, But she never thought complaining about her medical care would make a difference. But it is.
So I took the pills, but every time I take the pills, instead of my arm stop hurting, it would hurt, and then my chest would hurt. Talk about.
And just a few short months ago, it certainly never occurred to many of these people that they'd be helping shape the entire way in which their neighborhood's health care was to be offered. But they are, and the medical people are listening. This is the story of a new kind of comprehensive health care, and the way it is being offered in 36 American cities and towns. It is the story of a unique and creative approach to the health needs of its consumers, which goes where they are, listens when they talk, answers when they question, and perhaps most important of all, accepts their advice on how it can best serve their needs. It is the story of a healthcare philosophy which could well apply not just to the poor, but to everyone, and affect the whole approach of medicine in the future. Right now, hundreds of thousands of Americans are utilizing it every day through their neighborhood health center.
I'm Dr. Roger Eggeberg, Dean of the University of Southern California School of Medicine. This film describes new ways of providing health care for the poor, whether they live in the country or the city, by means of neighborhood health centers. In the past, and in many places today, health care for the poor has been inadequate. For instance, hard to obtain, impersonal, fragmented. In that kind of a setting, quality often suffered. And today there are probably 30 million people who are not receiving the kind of care we all deserve. Now, with people in their neighborhoods working together with professionals in the planning and operation of these centers, there are some new ideas and new directions that we should all be aware of. So let's take a closer look at some of the problems and what neighborhood health centers are doing about them.
If you're poor, poverty poor, and you live in places like these, sickness can be a lifelong blight, a kind of vicious circle described by the physician who said, "The sick get poorer and the poor get sicker." If you're poor and sick, there are some mighty discouraging barriers between you and good medical care. Barriers like transportation.
Well, I've been standing out here for half an hour waiting for the bus to come along. If you miss one, no telling how long you have to wait. And then you get to the hospital, you gotta wait some more.
Well, it's very hard to get to the hospital when you have to get your kids all dressed, to get yourself dressed, and you're very, very sick. Then you have to walk several blocks to get the bus. So I never go until I'm nearly dead before I go, or even before I take the kids, because it's too difficult.
Add long distances, no predictable way to get there or get home later, and only the most serious illness could drag you out. And once you were there, what then? Physicians and other medical people have done a supremely difficult job under immense